Hello there and welcome. This is a flute tutorial on a Machu Didgeridoo's drone flute. Now with my drone flutes, they can play all the same things that a single flute can play, but they can also play everything a drone can play. And they have a thumb hole in the back, so you get multiple different drones. And so we're just going to go over some basics to get you playing, and then some of the more fun stuff that happens when you involve both chambers of the flute and the thumb hole. So yeah, for those of you who are new to playing Native American style flute, this is a 6-hole Native American style flute. Lakota, Navajo, they play these as well. There's 5-hole versions, which are great. They're great flutes, but they are a little limiting and a little bit less precise with different modes. Modes are, variations of a key. So, the Egyptian mode of minor, G minor in this case, would be really difficult to play on a 5-hole flute. So first we'll get playing. So your air, your wind flow goes into this chamber. It goes through this, we call this the slow air chamber, and it goes through this little channel, just like a kazoo, or a whistle, and then it goes over a splitting edge, creating an oscillation. And so all you have to do is blow into that, right? To make sound, make sure your block, so this is the block or the birdie, as they call this, make sure this is aligned perfectly with the flat edge of that channel behind. If it's back like this, if it's back like that, it won't play well. You want it to be right there. Make sure it's nice and clear. Good to go. Okay, next thing is your fingers. So the way to hold this is to just comfortably rest your hands nice and low, nice upright posture. And you're looking for flat fingers. So don't claw. We're not clawing our fingers. That makes it harder to get a seal. Because if you have any little bit of the hole showing, weird noises are going to happen. So flat fingers, nice flat fingers. We like to put our dominant hand down on these 3 holes. And we like to put our non-dominant hand up here. And we're just going to start with making sure there's a nice comfortable feel, and then try to softly blow to get the low fundamental, the root note. And go ahead and pick up 1 finger. I did a little thing there. Pick up 2 fingers. So everything, as we go up, everything is in sequence. We're never going to have these 3 fingers down and all these 3 fingers open. And the sequence we're going for is the basic scale of this flute. All these flutes are tuned to their pentatonic minor, meaning there's 5 notes and then the octave, right? So what that looks like is like this. So you notice that I'm leaving my ring finger down. This is used for different modes and other little notes, you know, like hexatonic sixths and stuff like that. So I'm just going to play a little bit for you on the one chamber as if it's a single flute in the pentatonic scale, in this case, G minor. Something like that. Okay, now we're going to incorporate both chambers. So we have the flute here, and then we have the drone here. Now for my flutes, you have to hold this thumb note down. And the way you're going to do that is with these flat fingers here, dominant hand, covering the bottom three, and then on the back, so watch as I rotate it, that is where my thumb is, right? Okay, both together. Now move some fingers. Pretty cool, huh? So this is going to require more air. You're going to run out of air faster because you're really playing two flutes at the same time. And you'll notice that this note, G in this case, with all fingers closed, is the same as this note on the other side. Maybe a subtle little variation in the hertz. So this way there's a little bit of a wobble, a little bit of interest in the sound. But basically they're both G. Ah, thumb hole. Okay, now I'll just play a little bit with the thumb hole covered in the pentatonic minor, and then I'll take the thumb hole off, and you'll hear what that sounds like. Pretty cool, huh? So that's how you use the thumb hole. In this case, the thumb hole is going to be in C. So you can play some really cool stuff with C. Say somebody's playing, you know, the chords of C on the piano or, you know, on the guitar. You can play C really well, really full sounding. And that goes for all these flutes. You know, this one's an F sharp minor, but it has a B alternative drone, the second drone. This one, B to F sharp. This one, A to C. This one is G to C. So G to C. Pretty cool. It's a bunch of advanced stuff. We're not going to get too much into that, but I might just visit it real quick. So what is this sixth hole for? What is this ring finger hole? Which, by the way, is the way I kind of like to hold it. Kind of like to hold the flute like this. This helps you unlock other modes. So, hexatonic minor. Pretty cool, right? Now, there's also a thing that happens called wetting out. So it's a little moist in here. It's a little humid. I know, we're in the desert, but it's gotten a little humid. This little birdie can collect saliva and condensation. So that's why it unties. It unties so you can easily slide out of the way. You see all that moisture? That's from my breath. So you wipe that out, and that keeps it from getting all clogged up, which is why it was starting to whistle and buzz a little bit. That's the quiet way to unclog it. So after you tie this back on nice and tight, go ahead and wiggle and slide your block, your birdie, back into place, and it should play nice and clear. Pretty cool, huh? All right, let's go to another area. Let's do some more major stuff. So we're obviously been in G minor. Well, first and most natural thing, all the notes in the key of G minor also happen to be in, what is that? A sharp major. So, is that correct? Yeah. A sharp major. So you're just rooting from a different place. Your fundamental for your song is one whole open. Pretty cool, right? And when you use that hexatonic note here, play it with the drone. Pretty cool, huh? Okay, now let's move into some other cool areas. So here's some major notes in G. We can do some G major stuff. Now this is different fingering, and I welcome you to literally just do like a Google image search of a Native American flute fingering charts. And I'll have little like penciled in solid, open, you know, on the holes, and you just practice that. I'll show you this. This one is a Celtic Major. So my first finger, instead of lifting this, I'm going to lift this. Hear that difference? Let's go back to the minor. All right, now the whole scale. Ah. Isn't that cool? So there's this note here. Now that's going to be, what is that? The major sixth. So you can do some pretty Celtic sounding things on here. So there's actually many different names for that mode, but I like to call it the Celtic one. Here's the Celtic Minor. It also has this note in it, but you're going to use the same sequence down that we used for the pentatonic minor. So if you've ever seen the animated film Song of the Sea, that's a Celtic Minor. might have also seen another note I just did in there. I'm hitting a higher register, otherwise known as the happy notes, even though we can make them minor, we can make them sad and mysterious. So there are a couple octave notes here, and some flutes do them differently than others. This one does the 2 or 3 notes pretty well. So if we have a G here, G at the bottom, G at the root, the fundamental, we're going to have G up here at the top. Now, if we do this note, we're going to jump up 1 whole step. I think it's a whole step on the flute. Pretty cool, huh? So right now, we're kind of just going over, you know, the basics of flute playing, of getting comfortable with the instrument. You know, these are some scales, these are some feels. But we haven't even talked about anything that's happening in your mouth, in your diaphragm. It's a lot like singing or playing the didgeridoo or stuff that other horn instrument players do, clarinet, you know. There's different pressures going on. There's things you do with your tongue. And I want you just to explore that. Just play with it. Go wild. Here's a couple examples of some things you can try. Ticka, 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 ticka. Mix in some fingers. Your vibrato, you know. So vibrato, pulsing the breath. Pretty cool, huh? Go ahead and roll your tongue. Pretty cool stuff. You can also do little hand flutters and stuff, just little pet notes. You can ticka 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 ticka. A lot of different things. Just go ahead and play with it, explore with it. You know, make sure your birdie block is in place. That's very important. Flat fingers, remember flat fingers. And then just listen. Listen to the sounds that come out. Work on that pentatonic minor first. You know, go play for the animals, go play for the trees, play in a quiet space, make a ruckus, have some fun, make some beautiful music while you're at it, and come back for some more next time. Enjoy.